This video, as well as all my other videos, are legally protected under the Copyright Act, the Fair Use Act, as well as I am legally protected under Article 10 of Human Rights Act 1998. Everyone has the right of freedom of expression, end quote. With absolutely no hate speech or ill intent, of course. To protect their privacy, absolutely nobody's real names, appearances, or personal information is revealed in this video, and any and all names mentioned in their video are made up and fictional, substituted by online usernames or names of in-game characters. Therefore, wrongful privacy violation strikes of any sorts will be dismissed. Any sources such as artworks, background gameplay, or graphics shown are in-game designs and characters from the online MMORPG game Animal Jam by Wildworks, which I, as well as thousands of other content creators, are permitted to use on the platform under the fair use policy of YouTube. Should any concerns be apparent, please go ahead and raise them to YouTube, the platform I use to upload my videos onto, or Google, the platform that pays me for these said videos, and not by contacting my father's mobile phone during work hours. That was quite a mouthful. I never thought I'd have to make an intro like this for an Animal Jam video. However, it's come to my attention that there may be my local police watching this video. So in that case, hello, welcome to the Patchy Pack. Alright, now with all the legalities out of the way, I'm sure you're all wondering what this whole situation is about, and this will without a doubt be one of the most extravagant AJ story times, let's just say, and one that's actually real too. So, now that we've got all the legalities out of the way, I'm sure you're all wondering what this super extravagant story time of a video is about. I don't upload many of these, and this is probably one with the most clickbaity-ish title you've ever seen, but I can assure you it's true. I was recently contacted by the local police. Well, they actually contacted my father's phone, which I found quite odd considering I'm a 20-year-old adult male. But yeah, that happened. Today I'm going to be talking about the whole situation revolving around that. Obviously not discussing specifics or anyone's actual real names, anything like that. To give you guys the general gist of the idea, considering it is based around Animal Jam and around the Animal Jam contacting people. As you may know, I recently uploaded a very popular episode on my podcast series with not so special guest, I'd like to say. That video was quite very well perceived. It was a mutual agreement that we both came on to discuss matters from the community. In my little talk show podcast that I upload onto my channel, the individual, let's just substitute their name for an online nickname, Delocate, came onto the podcast. We had a very nice talk, and of course this podcast was then uploaded online. I didn't think much of it past this situation, other than it was just content that we both agreed on to create. Personal matters aside, I really didn't like this person, nor would I have considered them somewhat of a close friend by any sorts. What I'm trying to say is this person was a I think any of you guys as Animal Jam players that have watched the video, it becomes quite apparent that they were saying some very not nice things about some of the players from the community, their intentions on how they want to become an ambassador and a representative of the game weren't very good, and in general, not many of you guys found the person to actively represent our community very well, hence seeing them in a bad light, perhaps bad opinion, and that of course is allowed. You all guys are allowed to have that opinion. At this point, it was just petty AJ drama, which, for the most part, all of these AJ YouTube videos are, is just all petty drama, and it's within our gaming community of Animal Jam. As you may know, there's a load of arguments that happen in-game and even off-game that I carry on to Instagram, but only revolve around Animal Jam and not really anyone's personal characters or, like, personal IRL life. So you may be wondering, but Patch, how were the police involved with an Animal Jam situation seemingly revolving around two almost adult people? How did it escalate to this? Well, on my video, I received a very worrying comment. At first, I didn't know what to think of it. I didn't want to dismiss the comment completely, obviously, but I just didn't have a validation to see if it's real. I didn't have any proof of this being real. The comment read something along the lines of, "Oh, thank you so much for, like, having this talk with this person and bringing to light what they're like and, you know, making their voice be heard as well as mine." Basically thanking me for exposing their real intentions to the public. Although this person was already disliked in the Animal Jam community and in a general player base, I found it quite surprising that their personal friend from their college went ahead and contacted me in the comment section of a video publicly. I had absolutely no correlation to this person, I knew nothing about them, but I decided to really leave it as that. I didn't receive any proof or any reason to really be worried. No specific information was mentioned apart from, hey, Delocate isn't a very nice person at school either. College, my bad, college. This is what we have here over in the UK from ages around 16 to 19, I'd say. For those that are not aware, at around the age of 16, we advance on from high school, our equivalent of high school, onto college. Anyway, besides that, I was getting some weird reports under that video of individuals that have been struggling with delocates, quote-unquote harassment over at college. The person actually later on DM'd me on Instagram via an Instagram private message and told me a lot of interesting information that I had no clue about. They mentioned a ton, including how delocate would be a bully to them since school, them and their entire friend group actually. They mentioned how delocate would regularly harass the entire friend group for being depressed, having illnesses such as depression, autism, mental deficiencies, as well as physical things. She would regularly call members of the group fat. Another thing too, which I found completely off character for her, was her continuous use of the N-word. A load of the N-word being said and used in a, obviously, very provocative and insulting manner. I was just amazed at the fact that this person who everybody knew and conceived in-game and in our community to be like a bad person was surprisingly even more of a douche in real life to her close people that had to be with her, you know? The more I read into this person's tags, the more they started leaving very in-depth ones. I obviously began responding, asking him more about the situation because I was concerned. I was concerned about the person's mental well-being. I was concerned how they are being treated. One thing I always knew about delocate is that, especially in our community, they were attempting to rise in power, you know, continuously striving to become an ambassador of the game, to sort of represent the game in any way. The individual told me that she has the rank of some form of college ambassador over at her own college, and that she abuses that rank so she appears untouchable as well, meanwhile continuously harassing, as well as making people feel really, really shitty. It got to a point where I read into some of the texts that she'll even throw false pedophile accusations and publicly humiliate some of their classmates by writing things on class boards, things along those lines, just really wretched stuff. I of course asked for some proof of these events happening. They were able to show me and prove that they do indeed go to the same college that delocate does. I was also then given proof of delocate catfishing many members of her college, in the sense of appearing to be someone they're not, to obviously try and bully them for it afterwards. Some individuals also included many group chats, which Delocate was a part of, in which she'll throw out harassment and continuously make people feel outcasted. Another issue was the group of friends she targeted often. She would make them feel extremely outcasted over at her college. So I was reading all this stuff quite amazed, and I was thinking to myself, what should I do in this situation? I mean, I've got no real help I can provide apart from notifying their college about these events occurring. The person that was then sending me all of these texts actually told me that they had already sent my video over to Delocate's college, and that they would be looking into the situation and what she's like over there, as well as hopefully resolving the issue to do with harassment and bullying, because that was my main concern at the moment. I had no intentions of like petty online drama. I had no intentions in getting involved with Delocate's personal life whatsoever. I just felt the need to help somebody that privately messaged me regarding like just a random online community that Delocate happened to be a part of, that this situation, this behavior was carrying on to college, and I felt like the right thing to do, this is the way I was brought up anyway by my parents and my school, the right thing to do in that situation would have been to contact her college, so that is what I did. I wrote a very lengthy email to that college, and I basically told them, showed them a couple of the message screenshots and told them my concerns, told them who I am, that I'm a totally, separate individual not involved within their college, and that this is getting brought up to my attention, and I politely asked if they could please look into this matter and do something about it. A few days passed, I'll say around a week, and I happened to get a call when my father goes back from work. Well, he gets a call, it was on his mobile phone, which I found quite weird considering, I'm a 20-year-old man, and I have my own mobile phone, so if these matters ever to be something to be discussed about, I hope it's with me and not having to call up my parents, maybe? Just maybe. My father answers. He's actually not fully able to speak English, so he hands over the phone to me, especially when he heard my name get mentioned, obviously. And then I continued the conversation from there, and surprise, surprise, it was my local police from my area. The gentleman on the phone spoke to me and he was straight up saying like, hey, we are calling about the whole delocate AJ situation. Once again, not mention anything specific, as I want this to be a private matter. Obviously, the individual's name, anything like that won't be mentioned. So delocate AJ, I'm not sure if it was her directly or her college. They reported the situation to the police and they had to contact me basically saying, well, first of all, Deloke must have lied and twisted the evidence quite significantly, considering they were asking if I had been harassing Deloke online, which I replied that was totally not the case. I, of course, expect Deloke has lied and manipulated, twisted the situation to a point where the college may have believed that she was getting quote-unquote online harassed. However, I still think they should have taken the evidence I provided them, looked at it, at least examined it, and figured out that there was indeed an issue and shouldn't have ignored that. Once again, I didn't receive a response of any sort, which I don't need one, you know. I'm not monitoring what it's like over there. I simply asked them to look into a situation of bullying, which I had hoped they could maybe resolve. I said I was able to provide, obviously, proof. I said everything that was made was regarding the game itself. I did not involve myself within Deloke's personal private life whatsoever. I told them that basically we just had a podcast talk show episode, and that the only reason why the situation carried on off-game was due to the individual texting me. They had told me, because I was quite wondering how they managed to get a hold of, like, me and my family's information. Obviously, the police, they're allowed to do that. I'm not, you know, gonna say that's wrong or whatever. That is in their job to do that. Although one suspicious thing I will add is that Delocate, surprisingly enough, somehow managed to stalk me and find my personal Facebook account and tried adding me on there, which both me and my girlfriend had an issue with and obviously did not appreciate very much, considering I had not given this person my full name by any means whatsoever. What I assume is because the policeman said that he spoke with various people that had known me in the past, and they all said that I'm very sophisticated. The policeman also said, and I quote, "Oh, you seem like a very clever lad. You have a pretty high IQ." And the policeman also mentioned how they didn't feel the need to, you know, come over to my house, do some like personal one-on-one talk with me about this whole thing and just sort it over the phone, because I have a quote-unquote, I'm not making this up, they said I have a high IQ, so there's no need to appear intimidating or seem threatening and like take their time out of their job to come over and see me. So if that suggests anything, they must have seen this situation as something. And then I immediately thought, it was probably my old schools that I used to attend to. So now my old schools are aware that I used to engage in online Animal Jam drama, which of course I don't mind, it's whatever, I don't go to those schools anymore. Nor will this like really affect me in any shape or form. I'm sure if my schools got contacted and if I explained my side of the story, they would understand that I contacted an individual that was getting bullied, you know. Either way, the convo went something like this. They basically told me, you know, whatever, the only reason why they contacted is because it's becoming an offline thing. Obviously, that was their main worry. They had all the right to contact me about that and speak to me about it. I tried to explain in my best way. The policeman, the officer, was quite a boomer. I'm not using that term to like insult them. They were quite of the older, so they probably didn't understand much of what was going on. I tried to explain that both me and Delocate, are parts of this online community revolved around the game, where I explained that, yeah, this person had publicly commented on one of my videos, and I was just worried about their safety and general well-being. I'm not gonna lie, I was quite surprised and, I guess, intimidated by the fact that it was getting to a point where this individual, Delocate, was petty enough to contact authorities on me because I reported a sign of bullying. I'm honestly not sure what the situation was supposed to resolve other than me not contacting Delocate in any form whatsoever, which trust me, I did not intend on doing past our points of a mutual podcast. I have absolutely no intention in contacting Delocate, the real person, which I will not mention, Delocate's person, or being in touch with their character, such as messaging them or doing anything of that sort. What I simply wanted to bring up is the fact that I got contacted by an individual who expressed the need to tell me that they were getting harassed by a member from my community. The best thing I felt like doing at the time, and I still completely agree with that, that is definitely the best course of action I could have possibly taken, and I don't regret doing so, is contacting the college. I mean, who else could I have contacted realistically? delocate AJ's parents. That wouldn't have been very ethical to do. I feel like involving myself in the family drama would have been even worse of a thing to do. The individual obviously felt too intimidated, felt too embarrassed by this whole situation to contact the college themselves, especially mentioned to me multiple times how delocate AJ had significant power at their college, so this was not really a possibility of a person being very much heard out. I also felt a significant sense of, I guess, the moral compass to help this person because they expressed that they had autism, which my younger brother actually does have, and I know he experiences quite a lot of bullying at school, so my moral compass being so, I thought that, obviously, this is a person that can very easily be taken advantage of, and I don't want that from happening. Especially with some of the severe stories they explained to me, I felt very much sorry for the person, so that is why I contacted. The only other videos I have spoken on beforehand regarding this whole delocate situation was literally just things in-game, them being an in-game character and an in-game creator on this platform, let's just say. I talked about their content that they upload onto the platform regarding the game I play, Animal Jam, and I am totally in my right to do that. I did not mention anything such as, or show anything for that matter, such as their personal information, nothing like that. I think the moral of the story, and this is something I obviously advise everybody, is that for sure, don't get involved within people's personal situations, and don't try and be like hostile off of our game. We have a very tight community, and as I'm sure anyone that's experienced Animal Jam drama does not seek to convey that further into in real life personal situations that may affect a person. I advise everybody, if they are put in a similar situation where they get an individual expressing how they are being bullied by a person you closely know, definitely speak about it, definitely hear them out, and please definitely look for the best method of working that out and making sure that they feel okay and feel valid. Do I find it absolutely immature and pathetic that the authorities had to get involved regarding in-game drama that then extended to this situation that is right now? Absolutely. The policeman obviously questioned me regarding like if I had a job and things along those lines and just my general information. He then requested that I look into joining the police force, which oh god. If anybody knows my attitude, I don't think I'd make a great addition, but I did appreciate the offer very much. They basically said that because of, I guess, the way I dealt with things, such as being able to find this person's, college, they said, like, basically my investigatory skills would be sufficient to that of, like, investigating things along those lines. I don't know. I don't think I'll be a very good law enforcer, let's just say. I'm not the best of people. And I make silly videos for kids online, so that would probably be an issue too. I was actually quite offended by the fact that Delocate would only mention the fact that she was getting harassed, which was by far not the case and couldn't be further away from the truth. The only situation was that Delocate started shitting bricks and literally not being able to handle the situation due to it being involved around her college now, which was much more than she could handle. Well, unfortunately, sometimes that is what happens when you display this sort of immature behavior online, bully people online, harass them online, and have a load of bad stuff to say about them online. It then carries on into you also not being a very nice person to your college subordinates, it seems. They've got quite a bad reputation there, too. I don't know if I should mention this. This was perhaps the most awkward situation, is that I wasn't wearing many clothes, and my father just burst in through the room to tell me that the police are calling. So that was kind of an awkward exchange and scenario that I had to put up with. So through the entire phone conversation, I was not clothed much. I was still in bed. Whether or not other people criticize Delocates, for example, in comments of videos, in their own posts, that is completely nothing that I've got to do with. However, I never criticized Delocate's personal character, but rather the things she did in-game, and I never really mentioned any specific names or things along those lines whatsoever. The point is, I respect privacy, and some people clearly don't. For example, I was being mentioned quite a lot on Delocate's 1 hour long live streams over on Instagram. There was, I believe, 3 of those live streams in total, where my name was repeatedly getting mentioned, my character, as well as a load of my personal friends were getting mentioned in a negative light. Now, those live streams, could I have personally submitted privacy violation strikes for, or even contacted the authorities? Of course I could have. Was I mature enough not to do that over Animal Jam drama? Of course. I just find it quite laughable when you try to save your own ass after you couldn't salvage your reputation in this online game because of the things you said and did to people that just weren't acceptable. I mean, come on, being homophobic, harassing in-game players, and being a power-hungry sociopath aren't really the best traits to keep around in this community. I, of course, spoke out about those types of things. That is just what I do on my channel. I honestly feel so bad and so sorry for the officer that had to deal with that, because he obviously got called from a completely different police station from another area, obviously the unspecified area, let's just say, because I won't mention the location that Delocate happens to be in. They called over to my local police station, so there was quite a level of disconnect. The police officer that spoke with me obviously had very little idea about the game, that this was all happening in-game and in our community, that no names or personal information such as those things were being mentioned whatsoever. So what if they saw it as was like some act of like one-on-one harassment by any chance, which if any of you guys have subscribed to my channel or follow me over on Instagram, you can clearly see that that's not the case. And I believe I did a pretty good job explaining that to them. Like I said at the beginning of the video, all of my content, as well as the things I say, don't directly incriminate anybody. I'm not here to sit here and bully a 17-year-old about their personal life. No, that's not what I do. I criticize people based on their content and what they do in a game, and I make fun talk show podcasts with people. When the whole situation ended, I tried to explain this to my parents in the best way I could. Basically, I dumped it down into the fact that me and this individual, Delocate AJ, were having a disagreement in a game, which is basically what it was. Then an individual of her area contacted me regarding that they were getting bullied, so I simply sent that away to their college, and you know what my parents did? They applauded me for doing that. I think there's a reason that Delocate's username is appropriately being changed to DeloClown, and that is what people are knowing her as now, because this was just her very dumb and unnecessary thing to do. As far as I'm aware, just some quick updates, Delocate has been removed from the archives team, I believe, or so I've heard anyway, which rightfully so. I don't believe individuals should be representing a journalist media sort of newspaper for our game, when she is treating both in-game players and off-game people in this way. I am extremely thankful to all the people hearing me out and hearing what I've got to say about my experience with Delocate, and I'm very glad that some people that may have followed her and her social medias in the past know of that now. As always, my intentions are not to harass absolutely anybody. Do not go stalk this person's IRL, real life shenanigans, none of that. Do not look into this person's personal information whatsoever. I think everyone in this community knows it primarily as just an in-game player and knows them only by their username, and yeah, just being involved with that game community. And that is all I've got to say on this matter. If I disappear for a period longer than, let's just say, a month, because I plan on doing like weekly videos perhaps now, maybe, I'll try my best. If I disappear for around a month or longer, then consider I've been arrested by the police for making Animal Jam videos. I know, as ridiculous as that sounds, I'm only joking around. Obviously, this situation never advanced to anything further, and I don't intend on it doing so either, because I am not going to be contacting... Fuck, I said their name, let me bleep that out. I'm no longer going to be contacting Delocate privately whatsoever. I am no longer interested in speaking to them, and I am no longer interested in any form of relation, and I think the majority of the community isn't either, after the things she was saying and doing to people got out there. The Animal Jam community, funny place. As always, stay potistic. If you don't know, that's my new catchphrase I've been using on Instagram a load, and it's honestly my favourite. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Maybe. Bye-bye.
I love drama.